All right, so today, all right, we've started with multiplication and division, right, of rational numbers. Today, we are going to move on to adding, subtracting rational numbers, specifically fractions. Specifically, we're going to start off with easier ones, like fractions, all right? So, one vocab word today or phrase, and that is like fractions. Everyone?
Like fractions.
All right, so your book says it's fractions that have the same denominator. So, fairly easy, probably something most of you guys already knew. All right, so 1/4 and 3/4. You probably can't bold it like I did, but you can underline it, the fact that they have the same denominators. So we're just adding, subtracting fractions that look like that. Okay. So with that said, let's go ahead and grab your book, flip your book over to page 123. All right, looking for eyes up here, ready to go. All right, thank you guys. So, yep, make sure your name, first and last name, period, date, assignment number, book page, all that good stuff is on the top right-hand corner of your paper. That'd be very nice. Thank you. It's all right, guys. We're all good. We're on the same page here. Okay. So, problem number 14 is 3/14 plus negative 5/14. Now, considering the very first thing you should do when you're adding fractions or subtracting fractions, okay, positive and negative fractions, is make sure, of course, they have common denominators. And I guess we can even though all of tonight's will be, obviously, future problems won't be. Some might, but not all. So always make sure, of course, get in the habit, okay, common denominators. Okay, now, step 2. Step 2 is now we are, of course, going to combine our numerators. So, when we do that, here's what we need to look for. Make sure you know the signs of each numerator. In this case, we just talked about this in our warm-ups, right? The negative's up in front of the fraction. However, we also know that that negative we can put with our numerator and be a negative 5. Now, of course, part of step 2 is to actually solve that. And this is basically 3 with a negative 5. Now, you can do it however you want. If you already know the rules and T-charts aren't needed, that's fine. But we do know that it's a positive 3 and a negative 5. I guess I didn't have to put the negative there. They're on different sides. I bring it over. Ends up being a negative 2. And that is our numerator. Okay? Now, step 3 is, of course, it's not really even a step, right? Just finish up your answer here. And step 4, reduce or simplify. So we can reduce top and bottom. They're both even, right? Or you consider them even. Absolute values are even. So 2 divided by 2, or I should say negative 2 divided by 2 gives us a negative 1. 14 divided by 2 is, and our answer is negative 1/7. So realistically, it's very much like you've done in elementary school when you dealt with fractions, adding, subtracting fractions. But the main focus is, and it's a little new, right, is you've got negatives in there. You still have to treat those numerator values like you would regular integers when you're combining the numerators. Okay. All right, questions?
Will we have to use the T-chart?
Remember, when we had our integers, I wanted you guys to start using T-charts, but the goal was to not have to use the T-charts by the end of that lesson, or the end of that homework. So if you know these rules, I'm okay with you not showing you T-chart. Now listen, the circling of integers is a huge problem, and I think there's a few people in this class that still would have problems with this. So I would really recommend that I'm okay without you circling them at this point, but I may have you individual students start circling them again at this point if I see you struggling with this kind of problem. Okay? But as long as you know that 5 is a negative value and you're thinking this in your mind, then I'm okay with it. Just be careful. All right? Any other questions? Okay, here's the one I want you guys to try. Problem 18. Problem 18. Go. Bless you. Anyone need more time? Okay. About 15 more seconds. Guys, on similar problems to those, you can go ahead and continue on your homework right now while the others are finishing. Okay. Okay, go ahead and turn to your neighbor and share your answer. Go.
I got negative 1 over.
All right, so here we go. Let me go ahead and see what you guys have for answers out there. All right, 2/15 minus 7/15, seat 24. Seat 24. Positive 1/3. Okay, agree, disagree. 1/3. Okay. Okay. Couple of agreements, some disagreements. All right, let's get another one. Seat 16.
I got negative 1/3.
Negative 1/3. Negative 1/3. Agree, disagree with negative 1/3. All right. A lot of agreements. Hands still down on our lap, so that tells me that we have some disagreements. Okay, guys, give me one or the other, please, next time. All right. Seat 20.
I also got negative 1/3.
Okay. Any others that are out there? Answers? Brave people that want to share?
I got 3/5.
3/5. Okay.
Negative 1/3.
Okay. Well, that would be negative 1/3, right? Because it doesn't matter where the negative is. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Step 1, we have common denominators. Step 2, I'm looking here. I have 2, and I have a negative 7. Right? 2 minus 7. So, my denominator stays as 15. 2 minus 7. Now, if you did not see that, you are the person I'm talking to when I say you need a circle. I don't want to circle, Mr. Wilkins. Well, do you want the right answer? Yes or no, right? I mean, that if you did not see that, you need to start circling the numbers with the signs in front, just like we did last chapter. So here we go. Right? I have a positive 2 and a negative 7. That gives me, when I subtract, a negative 5, right? It's on the negative side, so negative 5. And now I divide both sides by 5. So this gives me a negative 1 and a positive 3, which is, of course, negative 1/3. Okay, guys, questions? Not much, but there's some mixed numbers here that we're going to need to take a look at.
I thought subtraction sign would not have negative.
Subtraction sign has negative value. If you say, well, Mr. Wilkins, I mean, come on. Well, remember, commutative property of subtraction, there is no such thing. That's 5. That's not equal to 5. Okay. So it's like taking, you have $2 and you lose 7. All right. You're in the end, you're down $5. Okay. Now, the example I just used doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? But you get the idea. Okay. If you have $2 and you owe someone $7, you're short $5. That'd be a better way of saying it. Okay. So subtraction is a negative sign. It gives the second integer a negative value. In this case, a second numerator. Okay. All right, guys, here we go. Let's try another one. Let's take a look at problem 34. Okay. Yes, it is on the next page. I know you guys will see it and be extremely excited. So we have negative 2 and 9/10 plus negative 9 and 9/10 plus negative 6 and 9/10. All right, now, there's a couple of different ways to go at this, okay? And if you have a different way that you want to do your problems, I may be okay with it. Please, though, see me after class and run it by me to make sure where I can check it to see if you're okay. Okay? I am going to show you converting it to a improper fraction and then solving, okay? Because I think with an improper fraction, we can see the signs a little bit better. Okay, when we're dealing with this. So here's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is 20 plus 9, so it's a negative 29/10 plus, this is 90 plus 9, so it's negative 99/10 plus 60 plus 9, so it's a negative, 69/10. Now they all have the common denominator. Okay, so basically, guys, all we have is we have one more number, one more fraction to add to something that we've already been doing. So here we go. Let's go ahead. We can just go left to right now. So these first two, we have a 10 because they're common denominators. And now, I know that's addition, but they both have a negative value in front of it. So negative 29 and negative 99. Okay, they're both the same sign, right? So they'd be on the same side of the t-chart. I'm just thinking t-chart out loud. They're on the same side of the t-chart, the negative side. So I'm going to add them up. So that's like 100 minus 29. Put one on there and then take one off, right? It's 128. So negative 128. Again, if you have no idea what I just said, use a t-chart. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my problem. And guys, I'm not writing new steps because it's exactly the same. You're just doing the same steps, but you're doing it twice. Okay, so here we go. 10, negative 128, and 69. They're both negatives. I'm going to add them again. So I'm going to just go over to the side, do a little extra scratch paperwork. 17, 6, 7, 8, 9, so 197. Okay. Of course, they were negatives, right? Do not forget your negative. So if you get that, don't forget your negative. Okay, now, here's what we're going to do. Is we can reduce. If you need to check, I should say, to see if you can reduce. Okay. 10 is divisible both by 2, 5, and 10. That's not an even number. It doesn't end in a 0 or 5, so I know 2, 5, and 10 can't go into that. All right. So that right there is reduce. Remember what we talked about. You can leave it as an improper fraction as long as it's not a word problem. Or, of course, this one's actually a nice, easy one to divide, right? So 10 goes into, or I should say this is a negative. Let's put our negative there already. Negative divided by a positive. Okay? And 10 goes into 19 one time. And then 10 goes into 97 9 times. If you don't know what I'm doing, you could still write this down like this. 1 time, 97 9 times. And what do we have left? 7/10. Okay, you don't have to necessarily put it as a mixed number, but you can if you need to. Okay, questions on that one? All right, try this one out. 22. 22, go. Problem 22. Okay, who needs more time? Okay, give you guys about 30 more seconds. All right, guys. So 30 seconds. Go ahead and share with your neighbor. Go.
I got negative 189 over 13.
I got negative 60 over 3.
Okay. Problem number 22. Okay, number 22, because of time, it would have been 139 over 13, or 10 and 9/13.
Wait, 139?
Okay, listen really quickly. Take a look. I'll come back to that. Take a look at 24 through 27. Please use parentheses. Do not forget when plugging numbers in. Okay, if you guys have a question on this, all right, we're going to start packing up here in a second. Please stay with me, all right, and I will go over it with you.